the Rohirrim do their attack and are mostly successful. And whenever the king of Rohan said, make safe the city, because they pretty much had the ground forces under control, that's when we hear yet another horn. And then everyone looks off to the distance, and from the Mordor side, the elephants in that grand row start their infamous march to the battlefield.
That was, I think, one of my favorite parts of that battle.
Yeah, that was like, okay, well, what's this? It's like, oh, this is not going to be good.
But I thought it was real cheesy how Eowyn has Mary take the reins of the horse, and she just takes down that elephant with just 2 strikes, 4 strikes. 2 on the back legs and 2 in the front, and down goes the elephant. After how many arrows and stuff's in it? I don't think that her swords could have pierced his skin like that. I thought that was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I mean,
she
they got
must have
real
just
thick.
miraculously got those tendons just right.
Yeah, or something. Because they should have real thick, like unpierceable hides. I would think.
I don't understand why they were on the side of Mordor. Because they were man, and Mordor was doing this battle because they were going to inherit the earth after they rid themselves of man. So I kind of wonder, what were these people told and promised to be on the side of Mordor, and why would Mordor even cut a deal with them? I mean, at the time, I was just all up and ooh and ah. But now, I can't help but to wonder every time I watch, is like, what are they even thinking?
Or maybe, they owed a debt to Sauron.
But we're talking about the end of man as we know it, which means, at best, they could have been hoped to be slaves, but they would have been treated awfully. It isn't like they've been given their own little corner of the world to live happily ever after.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Which brings me to another wonder. Those men, back when Gollum first led Frodo and Sam to the gates of Mordor, and then they realized it was a bad idea, so we'll take the back door route. There was man marching through the gates of Mordor, and then never to be seen again. They weren't in the last fighting scenes.
Well,
Where'd those people go?
I'm sure there was more than just Minas Tirith under attack, though, in Middle-earth. I'm sure that, them forces of Mordor were spread out all over Middle-earth, attacking different regions.
I have another theory. They realized they weren't stupid. They realized that while they were in there, they were being treated horribly. And they're like, we're obviously on the wrong side. Kill them all. And there was a big fight in there. They lost, obviously, but that's the way I see it. They did the honorable thing by the end, and or else the whole fight would have started a day sooner.
That's one way to look at it.
The orcs had to recover a day because of the damage done by that force they let in earlier. Well, at this point, after we get into that elephant battle, then that's when the sea ships arrive, and Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli bail out. That's what happens. And we see that apparently the undead took Aragorn's offer, because then they come gushing out of there.
Right. And the orcs said, let's go sea rats.
Well, that's because they were expecting even more corrupted men.
So whatever happened to those men that were on the boat? Did the dead people kill them to take over the boats?
That's the way I took it, yeah. That's why Aragorn and Gimli and Legolas were there, because the undead took them out and they hopped on the boats. And
I expected more from the dead people. I didn't expect them to just go through there and just pretty much demolish everything in sight and be over that quick. I expected way more of a fight.
When I watched it for the first time, I thought the movie was over.
Yeah, the dead people were just gonna kill everything.
Everything. No, I mean, everything bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think they'd stop short at Minas Tirith.
I didn't either.
Uh,
Gimli had the right idea. They needed them to stick by themselves, especially going into Mordor.
That's where I would have sent them. I mean, what's it to them? I mean,
They're dead. Nothing's going to affect them anyhow.
yeah, they got nothing to
who
lose.
Who says how long does it take to have the debt, paid, right?
And if we want to have fun with that, what would those undead do once they wiped out everyone in Mordor and there's that eye at the top of that tower? I mean, would they have been able to do anything with that, or that just would have been a stalemate thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Because, essentially he's a necromancer, so.
That would have been interesting. But yeah, I agree. I thought the movie was over. I'm like,
yeah.
Wow, they're just going to wipe out everything. It's just going to be smooth sailings for Frodo and Sam at that point, unless there's more to the story with Frodo and Sam that I was not made aware of yet. What's going to happen next. But to my surprise, they stopped short of Mordor, and then they weren't released. And the only one who seemed to think that it was a bad idea was Gimli.
Yeah.
But Gimli didn't say, well, let's finish the forces in Mordor and then send them.
Well, at this point, they didn't even know they were going to Mordor until they had that next meeting there at Gondor.
And I would agree, but then when we get to that meeting, everyone seemed to be convinced that there was still a huge standing army inside, so that leads me to believe that they did know at that point there was still a big army in there.
Right.
And they knew Frodo was in there.
But they didn't come up to the determination of, hey, we'll do the diversion until that meeting. To get, the eye off of, and all the orcs' attention from Frodo and Sam. That's when they decided to go to the Black Gate and call them out and have that big fight. And that was after he released the dead. But yeah, maybe he should have been like, no, not yet. You're doing well on paying your debt, but, your time service has not ended not yet.
Yeah, at least go have a look, guys. What's it going to hurt?
That would have been a real quick battle.
And then, if the Undead King would have had a problem with that, he could have said, well, look, go have a look. Whether there's something there or not, if there's something there, eliminate it for us. If there's nothing there, come back and tell us. Or go with them, and if there's nothing there, then we will release you. And if we don't, then just start killing us too, because we're not keeping our word. But Aragorn would have kept his word. So,
yeah.
But that's all in hindsight. We get to look at it over and over and over again. But at the time, I was caught up in the hoopla. Hey, thanks everyone for watching this here short clip. If you liked what you've seen, there's a whole show that you could be watching. Just click right over here, this big box, and it'll take you right to the whole show. And if you click over here, you can subscribe and help out the channel. Hey, I hope to see you there.